And welcome to What's Your Point? I'm your host, Miles Neighbors. To my right, Patrick Wheeler. To my left, Hank Bollinger. There was a lot of good sports, a lot of good things going on this week and weekend. So let's get it started, gentlemen. Let's start with our big three things. First, Carmelo Anthony was traded. He was with the New York Knicks. Now he's with Oklahoma City Thunder. Hank, how you feel about that?
For a standpoint for New York, it's not good. New York lost, their number one scorer, and Carmelo's not a bad player, but really for Oklahoma City, it's not bad. But I really think the person that's going to hurt the most is going to be Russell Westbrook. He's their scorer, and in my opinion, I don't know if people, would agree with me. I think Westbrook's way better than Carmelo Anthony when it comes to scoring. I think he's a great shooter. He can shoot outside the arc. He can do whatever he wants with the ball. And I feel like Carmelo Anthony is just – he shoots all the time. He's like a Kobe, in my opinion. Like, all he did was shoot. Just shoot. And that's why, people think he's an all-star. And, I would give Carmelo Anthony – I would say that he's an all-star, but out of every all-star in the NBA, he'd be the last one I'd want. Just because he shoots all the time, constantly. And it shows, with their record, out of the 7 seasons that Carmelo Anthony's been with the Knicks, 4 of those have been losing seasons, and 3 of them have been winning seasons, but the 2 of the 3 were just by 1 or 2 games. So really, it's just is he really an all-star, and can he ever lead a team into a playoff picture and going far and winning a title? The answer is no. Carmelo Anthony will never get a ring, ever. As long as he plays in the NBA, he will never get a ring, unless for some reason he'd go play with LeBron or Golden State or something like that.
That's really bold, Hank.
That's really what I believe.
Man, Hanky, you were wrong on so many levels. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to start with the fact that Carmelo. You said you threw out the losing seasons at New York. He was on a terrible team. It doesn't matter.
LeBron James was on a terrible team.
LeBron James had players that were good when he won championships. He went to Miami and made a team good because he had good players also. He had great players. Chris Bosh was there in his prime. He's
a mediocre person.
I'm getting right back to when I talk about Carmelo Anthony. He didn't have anyone over. Kristaps Porzingis was the best next player he had, and now that's his team. You're right. New York they're done now. They were done already. Their franchise has been going down for a long time. Carmelo is going to a team right now that the NBA has formulated these different types of teams for one reason only. They have to form teams with big-time players to take down the Golden State Warriors. They absolutely do. That's why these super teams are forming. You've got the big 3 in Oklahoma City now. I understand what you're saying with the Westbrook thing. The thing with Westbrook, he's not going to be MVP anymore. He won his MVP. He had no one else around him to help him out. He did everything himself. Now it's going to be interesting to see because he's got 2 stars that are also MVP candidates worthy at times. Paul George is an amazing player when he's healthy. Carmelo Anthony is a great player when he's healthy. 30th all-time on the scoring list.
Because he shoots.
And he had nowhere else to go. He had nothing else to do.
Well, I feel like every time he gets the ball, when he played for the Knicks, he was really good in Denver. I love Carmelo Anthony when he was at Denver. He was a great player. He didn't shoot so much as he did, but with New York, you can say, he didn't have players. But still,
he didn't have players in Denver. He had a couple of rookie year and a couple years after that. He's been all himself.
I like Denver Carmelo Anthony better than I do New York Carmelo Anthony because New York Carmelo Anthony thought he was, everything and thought he was the best player. And I just cannot, as a basketball player, I just cannot really follow that. All he does is just shoot.
But you have to respect. You have to respect the fact that Carmelo Anthony is taking this opportunity.
Oh well, yeah. He's doing what he can. He's kind of getting old now.
This is his 15th year in the season in the league, and he's got a chance. He's on a championship caliber team with 3 players.
But there's no way this Oklahoma City team could beat Golden State.
The Oklahoma City team that had KD and Westbrook by themselves, they were up 3-1 on the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. Now you've got players that are right up there with the talent that Kevin Durant has.
I just think, in my opinion, with Carmelo Anthony going to Oklahoma City, it will not improve their record at all. Last year they went 47-35. I really don't see this Oklahoma City team winning over 50 games.
I don't know how that how you could
I'll give him
think
like
that.
55,
I really don't.
maybe like 51, 52. Like it's not gonna be over 55.
You've got the reigning
Oh,
MVP
man.
yeah,
who
well,
averaged
he's-
triple-double a
Guess what?
game.
That reigning MVP is gonna have less shots now because they're getting Carmelo Anthony.
He might have less
He
shots.
will have less shots because Carmelo Anthony's gonna shoot.
This is
all
going
the
to
time.
no, he's not.
It's gonna
he's
start,
not going to
it's
shoot
gonna
all the
start
time.
Something like whenever Kevin Durant went to Golden State for a while, guess how many shots less Steph Curry take? A lot. Okay, and he's a great player, probably arguably one of the best point
Steph
guards
Curry
in the
still
game.
gets his points.
As he does because he's a good player.
So is Russell Westbrook.
He is, but I'm just saying with Carmelo Anthony there, he shoots way more than Kevin Durant does, and Kevin Durant shoots a lot in my opinion too. So I'm just saying Westbrook's going to lose so many opportunities. Last year he averaged 31.6 points a game. That's going to go down to probably 24. And Carmelo Anthony, I think he averages 22 games last year. 22 points a game last year, Carmelo Anthony did. And he'll probably stay around there as well. But, I mean, this team is not a championship caliber team. They'll go to the playoffs. They might make a run, but I just don't see them making it to the finals.
I don't know how you can
Even
count
with Carmelo
them out.
Anthony and with, I mean, he'll never win a ring.
You've got Paul George on your team, who's yet to hit his prime. He really hasn't. He had his injury when he broke his leg, and that really hurt him. He's come back that next year, and he's been on a terrible Pacers team. He's had no opportunities. He has an opportunity to play with one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah.
That's not a question.
Yeah, but probably, yeah.
And then he's got a chance to play with a veteran in Carmelo Anthony, who knows how to play the game the right way. The question to me is,
awful defense though.
that's one thing, but I think this Oklahoma City team is poised to make a run at Golden State, to make a run at the Cavs or whoever else you want to talk about in the East. The only thing they have to accomplish is being able to get all three of those star players their looks in a game. That will be the one thing they have to overcome. Russell Westbrook will not be MVP again. He won't get the stats again. That's just how it's going to be.
And that hurts Oklahoma City. Because, I mean, all right, I'm asking you a question. Game's on the line, Oklahoma City. Who do you want to have the ball with the last shot? Carmelo or Westbrook? Or Paul George, I guess, whichever one.
Right, I'm taking any of those guys. They all have the ability to make a last-second shot. They've done it 100 times. That's the thing. You're overlooking how studded this roster is now. Mm-hmm. They've got three of at one time, the best players in the league. Russell Westbrook, he's right there with LeBron.
Yeah,
the best player in the league.
He's that good.
Carmelo Anthony is an amazing
if he's
player.
right there with LeBron, then why would you? You're taking that best player mentality that he has away from him when you when you get Carmelo Anthony on your team. Like, because he's just gonna shoot all the time, Patrick. I don't know how you don't get it. He's gonna shoot all the time. Opportunities will be missed by Westbrook and even Adams and George. Like, they're not gonna have games that they want to have because of that.
With Paul George and Russell Westbrook on the same team, he's not going to have the opportunity to shoot all the time. It's just not there.
We'll have to see. I mean, I really.
It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited. Their very first game, they open up at New York against the Knicks. Makes it even better now. Carmelo wrote the letter today, thanking his fan base.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy off the court. I love Carmelo Anthony off the court. Okay, he's a good guy. On the court, though, if I had to show my son something that did not be like on the basketball court, I would have him watch.
Man, I know we got to move on, but I would name 100 more players before I name Carmelo.
Man, that was interesting from both sides. Clearly, me personally, don't like the trade. He should have went to the Rockets. He should have linked up with my guy, James Harden. They just picked up Chris Paul, who still probably, top 5, top 6, top 7 point guard. You know, he's not really going to take as many shots because he's with James Harden, but for the Rockets, that would have been an extra firepower for offense, and the sky would have been the limit if Carmelo would have went there. So,
all I know is this conversation is not done. We will continue this.
We will.
Absolutely.
Talk a lot about the NBA.
oh yeah.
Gosh.
Second, we want to talk about, the whole controversial thing going on in the NFL right now with people, not standing, kneeling. Me personally, I don't feel like it's such a bad deal. What I like really about it was whenever they all locked arms. That just showed a sign of unity. Your team's supposed to be a brotherhood. You're all there, one common goal as a team. You probably love each other, and you value everybody as like a man and as a human. But the whole kneeling kind of thing, that it does kind of set back a little bit. I understand how bad it is. a lot of people are saying, you're disrespecting the flag, disrespecting all those people who, fought for our country. The rights we have now, those people, fought for it, died for it. I understand where people are coming from. Patrick, I want to start with you. How do you feel about the whole situation going on?
I was saying this 100 times yesterday watching football. It's all over the league. And I'm not saying that it was gone, but it had died down previous to President Trump coming out and saying what he said about Colin Kaepernick and everyone else that's in the league that does this. It completely sparked everything. It came back up yesterday. We saw it all across the league. For me, there was a fine line that was crossed. When the Pittsburgh Steelers decided their whole team was not going to come out, when the Seattle Seahawks decided their whole team was going to stay in the locker room during the national anthem, that's a problem for me. I get what they're trying to do, and people say, hey, they fought for your right. Yeah, they fought for the right to protest freely, which they're doing. But the disrespect is still there for me because, like you said, it is this country's national anthem. Another problem that I saw yesterday, the London game. They set for the national anthem that was played, and then when London's song was played, they stood for a foreign song. That's the problem. That's how big it has become in our league. It's completely taken away from football. I mean, it's going to become such an issue eventually. They're just going to get rid of it. There's not going to be a national anthem before the games anymore. And that's an issue in a country that desperately needs unity right now. It's completely divided. And I hate the fact that politics have played such a huge role in sports right now because that's not where they belong. There's a fine line of politics and sports. And when they collide, it's nothing but problems, as we're seeing right now. It's all over the league. It's spreading. And one more quick issue that I see with it all the time now, when I see it spread to, for instance, the Mighty Mites, little kids playing football that don't know what they're doing. They just see their idols doing it in the NFL. So they think that's the thing to do. It's spreading all over the place. I think it's just become one of the biggest issues. I cannot believe that this is risen to the heights that it is right now.
Exactly, and especially, Patrick, I totally agree with you. I think there's so much more important things going on right now in this world that needs to be broadcasted and, it's all over social media. Like other stuff that's going on, whether it's North Korea or the hurricanes or everything going on right now, there's so much more important stuff going on than this. And I just think what President Trump said with his tweet, to me, that's not a way a president should be saying. I get it. They shouldn't be kneeling, but in my opinion, but he can't say that.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He did the thing with Stephen Curry. You keep the president in politics.
Yeah.
You keep the sports players in athletics.
It's so unprofessional for Mr. Trump, I think. It just, as a president, you can't say something like that. And honestly, I think the Steelers, going in Seattle and Tennessee, all those teams staying inside for the locker room, I think that's a little too much. I get it. I loved how all the owners and the players were standing up and locking arms because they have to defend themselves. They can't just. They're not going to let someone just say that about.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I get their point. Yeah. Everyone gets their point. It's clearly been put across.
Yeah, and the kneeling. For me, in my opinion, you always stand no matter what. There's people that's fighting for your country, fighting for everything that you're doing right now, and I think, like you said, it's been blown out of way proportion. I think I'm ready for this to be over with.
Yeah, it's just an issue that has become the popular thing to do.
Exactly, and you don't want to see little kids and even high school games, people just gonna start a whole bunch of stuff, and it's something like you said. You don't want politics to go into sports ever.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon.
I really don't.
It's just not. And that's the sad thing about it.
And if they take away the national anthem, that's gonna start so much stuff, and it's just not gonna be good. And think about it. How bad does that look on our country as a whole? Whenever two teams go to London and they don't even stand up for the national anthem.
Exactly.
That just it shows.
And it proves how big sports really do play in the world. Some people say, what's the big deal about sports? Look what it's caused. One man decided to take a stand, which he has the right to do, and he's paying the price for it. He's not playing on a team right now, and no one will have him. But look what he's done.
Yeah.
It really started with him, and it's just it's out of proportion right now.
It's getting a little crazy, and I think. I saw everyone seen the picture of Colin Kaepernick wearing his socks with the pigs and with pigs in the cop hat, saying that cops are pigs. that's way too far. I mean, obviously, I understand where he's coming from, and that there's a problem, I think, with a little bit of that. But I'm just saying, not all cops are bad cops, and like I think he's kind of the way he portrayed it. Was showing that every cop out there is just not a good cop or something. Like they're all racist or something. It's just like it's getting out of control, and I'm ready for it to be over with. But like you said, I don't see it getting done here soon.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so I have a question, to ask both of you. Do you feel that some of these major athletes, for example, let's say, I don't know, Cam Newton. Let's say people are watching Cam Newton kneel. How do you feel that his impact, because he's such like a very impactful player? These impactful players have a look on all the people that look up to him. How do you feel about all the little kids that are watching Cam Newton? Do you think that these kids are like asking questions? Because I feel like it also kind of starts with the parents, and not necessarily like how they're raised, but like if they're getting questions answered to like these kids who are as the generations are going on, these kids are becoming more aware of like social issues. Mm-hmm. Do you think that kids are asking questions, and you think our parents are like answering these questions?
They might be asking questions, but the answers don't come easy, because you would be saying, you would have to try to attempt to explain that the President of the United States has a huge Twitter ego, and everything he says is first of all, everything he says is going to be blown out of proportion.
Definitely.
Just because of the track record.
It's media.
Mm-hmm.
He was a celebrity before he was a president. That comes first in so many minds. He's not popular a lot right now. You have to explain to a kid that this is what is happening. This is why your favorite NFL player is doing this.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain that to a little kid or anyone. I mean, high schoolers in general the same way, even in football or whatever sport. I mean, we're seeing it in baseball. It's spreading everywhere. Mm-hmm. I think that they might be asking questions. I just think that the answer is extremely hard to give, other than stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish that after seeing all that, I wish would be a different way to do this. Like, because they need to reach out. They need to do something about it, because like obviously it's not a good thing, and like I really think that if they want to fight for that right or whatever they're fighting for, I think there should be a better way to do it rather than kneeling for the national anthem, because the national anthem means so much more than just what they're going after. I mean, there's, like I said, there's people fighting overseas,
yeah.
and you can at least stand up for them.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and our next topic, LeBron calls out Trump on Twitter. I'm sure both of you guys have seen it. It was he quoted Steph Curry pretty much, because Steph Curry was pretty much saying that he wasn't going to go. Trump, is like initially, sends out a tweet and says, oh, Steph was never invited, which clearly wasn't the case at all. How do you feel about LeBron's tweet? How do you even feel about Trump's tweet?
I think, like I said, the Trump Twitter is out of control. It shouldn't be that way with the president. I
almost want to be like, if you're president, you can't have a social
yeah,
media
I mean,
account
other,
that you
exactly,
do. You can have somebody else do it for you.
And the fact that he has the president's account, then he has his own account.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
It's ridiculous.
He comes up, and the thing with me is, LeBron James has a platform of this world. LeBron James can say one thing, and the whole world will hear it, no matter what. He has the opportunity to come out and say, let's do something different about this. Let's go speak to the president. Let's reach out. Let's try to fix this. Mm. So I see what he's doing by calling out, Trump, and he calls him a bum in the tweet. He does the Steph Curry thing. He's standing up for his fellow NBA player.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just, I see what he's doing. However, he could do it for good, if that makes sense.
If I'm not mistaken, it all started with Steph saying that he didn't feel comfortable going. That's how it went?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a smart tweet in Steph's standpoint. I mean, I understand that, he believes that there's some problems going on, and I get that, but I just really wish he could have kept that to himself maybe, and maybe went through that with a different way than putting on social media, because that started, like we just talked about, a whole bunch of stuff.
But it's not like Steph Curry or LeBron James need any more exposure. But look at what they're getting because of it. I mean, people are praising them for standing up, because they're calling out President Trump. They're calling out why they don't want to go to the White House, even though that's what championship teams have done for however many years. It's just become such a huge part of politics and sports have mashed together way too much.
Yeah.
And it's become a problem. Say it over and over. Something's got to be done eventually, or it's just going to tear both sides apart. It really is.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins just got invited to the White House yesterday, a few days ago, after the NHL.
Believe so.
I haven't heard anybody not going yet, though, so maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, let's go on this next topic. Buy or sell. So let's talk about Kansas City Chiefs. You know, pretty big organization in the NFL. You know, if you know anything about Chiefs, Lamar Hunt, one of the owners, one of like the biggest owners like in the NFL like history. Hank, let's start with you. Would you buy or sell the Kansas City Chiefs?
I definitely buy them, especially right now. I mean, I'm bought into everything they're doing right now. I'm not a big, how do I say this? I'm not a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs fans, really. I feel like they're kind of crazy. But I mean, right now their team's playing really good. I mean, I can't deny it. You know, even though I want to see the Raiders win the AFC West this year, just because I love Derek Carr, I love what he's doing. But it's hard not to look at these Chiefs and just be. I know, I'm sorry, guys.
Man, you're lucky you're on the other side of the table. That's all I got to say.
I'm just saying, it's hard not to look what the Chiefs are doing right now and just. It's amazing. They played some really great football, and I think, that first week beating the Pats 42-27, the team's for real. Kareem Hunt, he's a stud. He is a stud, and I love watching him play football. And next week they go to Houston. They should get a W there, but the next test they have is at home against the Steelers, and then after that they go to Oakland. So I think in these next 3 weeks is going to be a big sign of how these Chiefs are going to finish this year. If they can somehow pull out, I really don't think they can win all 3 of these games. I think they'll lose one of them. I don't know who. Steelers are pretty good. Oakland's not bad either, but even Oakland did play really bad last night, though. I mean, we saw the offense.
We saw 2 teams play bad last night. The Steelers got walked off on by the Bears. I mean, the Chiefs have the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I know they've said that year in and year out. This is our year. This is our year. This is our year. This is our year. I mean, it really is. They start off 3-0. Kareem Hunt, you heard it right here first. He's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Rookie of the Year.
Right now,
without a doubt.
You can't not give it to him. He's second all time in all-purpose yards through 3 games. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then when I look at this offense, it's different. They're switching plays up. They're no longer throwing 5 yards to the sidelines and going 3 and out all day. Yeah, they let the Chargers hang around a little longer than they should have yesterday. Seems like that always happens. Not only that, the Chiefs have won 9 straight in the AFC West.
Yeah.
They rock their division. It doesn't matter. They beat the Raiders twice last year, one of them in Oakland. I mean, that's not an easy place to go get a win. Neither is coming into Arrowhead. Now, I'm also going to make a prediction here, and you're going to call me crazy. That's okay. By the time Thanksgiving games roll around, the Chiefs will still have not lost.
All right.
There will not be a loss on the record. And the reason I'm saying this, one reason I'm saying this, I think it was 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I made the prediction the Chiefs they would go. I think they had 8 games left in the regular season. Mm-hmm. Back whenever I was on the radio, they gave me an option. They said, "Hey, take a look at this schedule for the rest of the year. Look at these games the Chiefs have left." It wasn't that tough of a schedule, but there were still 2 games against the Raiders. And in another, I think there was a game against the Broncos.
Yeah.
And then they had their other games. I predicted they go 8-0, undefeated. Everyone was calling me crazy, looked at me like, what are you talking about? They went 8-0. And they, of course, they come in and they lose against the Steelers in the playoffs. I think they have the opportunity. First of all, they beat the reigning Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. Handled. And that was a great game. That was the best game I've seen the Chiefs play in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
No one in the world thought they were going to win.
No one thought
that. Yeah, not at all.
Alex Smith has woken up. I don't know if it was the whole Patrick Mahomes thing in the offseason. Hey, he's going to take your spot the second you mess up. The second you have a bad game, he's coming in because he's got the arm. Alex Smith is playing good. Tyreek Hill, hard to defend no matter where you go. And it proves to me, this is why I think they're so good. Yesterday, Travis Kelce had 1 catch for 1 yard. Yeah. And they're still able to come away with a victory. Two games ago, Tyreek Hill wasn't a factor, and they still came away with a victory. Fair. So even when one of your stud players on the Chiefs isn't doing so well, you're still getting wins. Yeah. They're finding ways.
Their defense is
their front
seven's the best. Their
defense is great. Their front 7 is amazing. Their secondary has to improve. Of course, they lost Eric Berry. It's hard to replace an Eric Berry.
Yeah.
He's out for season.
For sure.
Yeah, they intercepted Phillip Rivers 3 times yesterday. They still let him hang around longer than they should have.
And that's when you say that right there. They're letting teams hang around a little bit. They only beat the Eagles by 7. Eagles are good. I like the Eagles this year. They're a pretty good team. Carson Wentz is a stud. and they only won by 7, which and like you said, the Chargers hung around a lot longer than they probably should have. So the Chiefs are showing signs of weakness, in my opinion. But like you said, 8-0, what? They're not going to go undefeated. They will not.
They're not going to finish the season undefeated.
They will lose to the Steelers or Oakland. These two.
They won't lose to the Steelers.
They'll beat Houston at Houston. That's not really a big problem. Steelers are good.
The Steelers are not as good as they've been. Le'Veon Bell has not shown up. The best player on the team is Antonio Brown. Le'Veon Bell has not been there this year. All 3 games so far this season have been below average.
No,
I mean they're not there. The defense isn't there. The Bears just walked off on them. The Bears. I mean, they're not that good of a team. Houston got wrecked. They were able to, well, yardage-wise, not score-wise. Tom Brady had a game against them.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
I don't see anyone standing in the way. The way Oakland looked last night, if Oakland played like that against the Chiefs, no contest. No contest.
I agree with you there, but I really don't think Oakland had an awful game last night. That I've never seen the Oakland team play that bad, and I've hit the Oakland bandwagon. Starting this year, I thought Oakland was going to win the AFC West, and I mean they. Still
I think a lot of people did, but look, there's 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL, and one of them's in the AFC West.
I got 2 Kansas City Chiefs fans sitting right next to me right now. Like you got to admit,
it's not even that. I'm looking past it.
Biased a little bit.
I'm a little biased, but I'm looking past it still.
I'm biased for the Rams. I think they're going to be really good this year too. But I'm just saying, I'm a independent right now. I'm looking at all the things. I really don't think.
I'm looking at all the things, but I'm also.
But you're also a fan. You're also a really good fan.
But I'm saying that that 9-0, 9 straight games they've beaten teams in the AFC West.
I'll give them. Okay, so when's Thanksgiving? Like, what would their record be? Like after Thanksgiving, probably.
They'd be up however many games are up to Thanksgiving. 6
let's say 10 games. Let's say all right, they've won
about
3
6,
games.
7 games.
Let's say they play 10 games. They will be 8-2. They'll be 8-2.
I really think they'll be undefeated by the time Thanksgiving rolls around.
I really don't see a Chiefs team. Like, Chiefs, they choked before in the past. Why wouldn't they choke this year?
They've choked before. The last couple of times they've choked have been in big playoff situations. Right now they're 3-0 coming in against a couple of teams that they can definitely beat. There's not a team in the league that the Chiefs cannot hang with or beat.
Mm-hmm. No,
I mean, they really can't. The second best team in the league is the Falcons. The Chiefs beat them last year, and they weren't as good as they are this year. I'm not saying it just as a fan. I really am saying that they are. From watching them so far, I have been extremely surprised with how good and different the offense looks. Because you know why? Andy Reid's not calling plays anymore. He's sticking to head coaching, and that's what he needs to do. Other than that,
I do love Andy Reid. I think
he's a great coach. He is.
Best
the players love him. They respect him.
Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Easy Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Patrick, I just don't see how this Chiefs team could be. I mean, they got Kareem Hunt. They got weapons now. I get it. But, I'm just saying, they're not – at the end of the season, they're going to have a race with Oakland for the AFC West. It's going to be close. It's not going to be Chiefs blow out of the water.
I don't know if it'll –
They're not going to sweep the AFC West this year. I'll tell you that right now.
The thing that the Chiefs have figured out, they don't have to have that huge, big-name player.
No.
They have 4 or 5 that are really good, and they've mixed them into an offense that plays really well when they're all clicking. When Alex Smith is playing like he is, this is a high-level playing. This is back in San Francisco days, Alex Smith right now. Mm-hmm. He's throwing down the field. His passes are on target. He lost Jeremy Maclin, so he's using – Maclin didn't –
overrated.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's using weapons. He's got different wide receivers to throw to. He's got Travis Kelce, who might as well be a wide receiver. He's got Kareem Hunt, who's right now, name one back that's better in the league than him right now. The best back in the league. Their defense is amazing. The secondary needs work. The coaching is there. The ownership is there. The fans are there. The national attention is there. They've got 6 games in primetime this year alone. I mean, the next one's Monday night.
Mm-hmm. Redskins.
That's another team they can beat. When I look down their schedule,
Redskins actually aren't that bad.
They aren't that bad.
That'd be a good game.
When they play a schedule of caliber, which they usually have a decently tough schedule. The last few years they played the Packers multiple times. They played the Patriots multiple times. Steelers. All those teams. They've played really, really good teams, and somehow they find ways to win. Their problem a couple years ago was they would play teams that weren't that good, and they'd lose, like the Chargers. Now they're playing teams that they should beat, and they're beating them, and they're playing teams that they should definitely have a game against, and they're beating them.
I wish the best for y'all's Kansas City Chiefs. I want you guys to be happy. You guys have really been upset for a long time now.
We deserve it. We deserve it.
I mean, I can see this happening. Chiefs and Pats, AFC Championship. I can see Pats winning again. I mean, I know the Chiefs beat them earlier this year, but I mean, the Pats are they're already looking better, and I just don't see the Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl. They have a chance to make it to the AFC Championship, but we'll have to see.
You're right.
But
We'll
good luck
see.
to you guys. I hope you guys get it. I mean, the Chiefs fan needs something to cheer on, right?
I appreciate it, Hank. I like it. Tom Brady. Tom Brady completed his 50th fourth quarter drive win, third of all time. Patrick, I'm going to start with you. Tom Brady, easily, probably, most likely, you could say now, best quarterback of all time. How you feel about Tom?
Tom Brady's not the best quarterback of all time. He's the best NFL player of all time. Hank thought I was going to go. Hank thought I was about to say something else. I'm absolutely not. He's the best. He solidified it. I believed he was the best quarterback before this. He solidified it yesterday, player of all time. He absolutely did. I didn't think he'd have a chance. He had 2 minutes to get down the field, and it was too easy. It was way too easy. No one can stop this guy on defense except the Chiefs, apparently, this year. Other than that, and I'm not just saying that. Even then, he had a decent game. It was okay.
Not Tom Brady.
Not Tom Brady good, but that last game yesterday was Tom Brady good. He showed what we saw all last year in the ways that he won the Super Bowl. So if he comes and takes that into a playoff run, it's dangerous to stop them. You know, it really is an obstacle for any team. He's able to command the field unlike any other player I've really ever seen at the quarterback position. You can put an average player on a Tom Brady Patriots team, and he'll become a great player.
Exactly.
Look at the receivers.
Look at Garoppolo.
Yeah.
That when he was in there last year for a little bit, it's that offense. It's just the way they're coached. They're the best coached team in the NFL. You know, like hands down. Like
it's hard
everybody
to.
in that team is really good because they are coached so well and they play the game right. And they
It's
do
hard enough.
all the small things right.
It's hard enough to beat Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's harder when you have to beat him and Bill Belichick in the same
exactly.
way.
That guy's a wizard. He's a wizard.
He's crazy. Tom Brady's, I agree, Pat. He's the best NFL player of all time. It's just so fun to watch him every time. Yeah, that first game was kind of bad. And after that first game, I was like, is it over? Like, is his reign over? Like, is he gonna kind of start going down? He's starting to get old a little bit.
He's
40.
ageless. He's ageless.
40.
He shows no sign of wear and tear. It'd be interesting to see how he would react to a big hit or something like that.
Exactly.
Because he really just nothing stops him.
Yeah, this year in 3 games, over 1,000 yards already, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, he's looking pretty good.
And like I said, look at the receivers. Chris Hogan is not that great of a receiver.
Yeah.
No.
He catches 2 touchdowns yesterday and looks like a great receiver because he's got the best quarterback to ever play the game, making him look good.
Daniel Amendola, another one that's like not super great, but he's he runs really good routes and he has a great quarterback to get it right in the perfect spot.
Now they did do one. They had a great move in the offseason when they picked up Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
That is
Smart.
an excellent pickup.
4.3 speed.
Yeah,
They keep getting
absolutely.
more weapons and more weapons, and
He's got excellent speed, like you said. The catch he made yesterday for the game-winning touchdown, unbelievable. He was good in New Orleans. Of course, he had a good quarterback there too. They didn't have a great team, obviously, but he had a good quarterback. So he knows how to play with a good team. You take a talent like Brandon Cooks and you put it on a team as good as the Patriots. That's where players like that really belong and they can shine. Some people might say, I remember in the offseason people were saying Brandon Cooks is going to get lost in this offense because there are a number of weapons already in front of him. He steps right in and makes it look easy. I mean, I think it's one of the best pickups the Patriots have made, as if their team couldn't have gotten any better.
Exactly.
It did.
Yeah.
And I think watching the game, their defense isn't there this year. It's not. Their defense is not there. They let Houston stick around. They should not have. The offense is obviously there. I think this is a chance right here after this last game, they might go on a roll. They might go on a run. I really think that the momentum's going to carry. Tom Brady's hard to stop.
I totally agree.
Aaron Rodgers, next guy we're going to talk about, passes John Elway, 10th of all time passing TDs. Aaron Rodgers is personally one of my favorite quarterbacks, like for last 5-6 years. I've always loved Aaron Rodgers. He's a good guy, discount double check, makes great commercials. Hank, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, I love Aaron Rodgers. He's a stud. Honestly, he's one of my favorite guys to watch. Out of all the quarterbacks in the game, and there's Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, another great guy. I love to watch him play. I mean, he's almost to 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns this year. He has thrown 3 picks, which is kind of not super like him, but still, he's just a great guy to watch. And I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be great. The Packs, I'm kind of curious to see how the Packers do this year. I mean, they're kind of showing signs of up and down. So we'll see.
A lot of injuries going on with the Packers.
By the time it's all said and done, I know we have to get out of here really quick. By the time it's all said and done, Aaron Rodgers, if he gets another 2 rings, he'll be known as the Michael Jordan of football. He's that good. He's an excellent player. So, hey, I mean, great show, guys.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're out of time. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Hank. This is What's Your Point? We'll see you tomorrow.